Hi guys, welcome back to the Big Sew Along. I'm Ginny and you will find me here twice a week sewing different projects, hopefully inspiring you guys to sew along, maybe learning some tips and tricks along the way. Today, as promised, we're going to be sewing another OSKA inspired, so I should say OSKA inspired garment. I'm going to be using, I'm going to be trying to reproduce these pants. I'm going to try to put a picture in here, a bigger picture than of the top, because these pants actually have some really cool details that you can't see unless you're looking kind of close up. They have a tapered hem that actually sort of like the inside hem, the inside inseam looks like it's pretty straight, but the outseam looks like it tapers in considerably, like from about mid-calf. So I'm going to try to reproduce that. These pants also have a zip fly. I believe in the description online it says that they have elastic in the back, and I may or may not put that in because there's a zip, so you don't necessarily need it. I usually like a little elastic in the back of my pants because like I said before, I have a big sway back, so it's easier for pants to fit if I have a little elastic, so I may do that. They also have 2 slash pockets, and they have what looks like sewn down pleats. So they go down as far as like a dart would go, only they're not a dart because they're not closed on the end. They're just sewn down to that point. Anyways, we'll see how that looks when we get to it. Today I'm really just going to show you the alterations I'm going to make to my pattern. The pattern I'm going to use is another Merchant and Mills pattern. This time I'm going to use the Eve trousers. In the pictures for these trousers, and again, I'll try to put a picture right here, but I'm going to show you here just this little line drawing of the pattern pieces. It does look like they taper in here. However, they don't taper in that much. So I'm going to stand up here in a minute and show you, I've made these in a muslin. I'm going to stand up here in a minute and show you what the bottom looks like so that you can see how I'm going to alter it. So the Eve pant does not have a zip fly. First of all, it has a side zip. I am probably going to maintain the side zip on this pant. I actually prefer a side zip. I also don't really have the best color match thread for my fabric, so I don't really want to do top stitching. It's okay for the inside seams, but I really don't want to, I don't want to emphasize the fact that I have a slightly off color of thread. I don't really have any way of getting another thread right now, so we're just going to work with that. So the Eve trousers have one back patch pocket, which I will leave off, but they don't have any front pockets. Our inspiration pattern has two side slash pockets. So the alterations we're going to do to the pattern are, we're going to add side slash pockets. We're going to taper the outseam in a little bit from just below the knee to the hem. And we have, there's one other thing, slash pockets. Oh, and our cuff, the Eve trouser does come with a cuff option, but because we're changing the shape of the shape of our hem, we're gonna add a different cuff, so it can still have a cuff like the inspiration picture. Anyways, I hope it all works out. And okay guys, this is just so you can see how the cuff of the pants is. It is definitely tapered, although I feel like it doesn't have a dramatic enough taper for what we're going for, and also I feel like the picture just looks like it's more tapered, but you know what, maybe it's just me, it doesn't matter. Just so you can see what the hem looks like right now, I feel like they fit pretty well everywhere else. Okay, now we'll go get to our pattern. Okay, so for this pattern, to alter this the way we want it to be, we don't have to really do anything to the top portion of the back piece. It's really just the front piece. We're going to use the darts that are already marked on here to make our pleat. When we go to sew this, we're just going to sew it straight down from here to here instead of tapering it in like that. And there'll be a little opening at the bottom that you can press towards the center front. To get to our pocket, however, I'm going to use this pocket. This is actually from the other Merchant & Mills pant called the 101 trouser. It fits in here just fine. So I'm actually just going to trace this right here onto my pattern. Just like that. And then also that way it's already drawn out here if I want to use this again, although I'm going to make a real pattern for it, so that's kind of dumb. But anyway, okay, now I'm going to trace that out. Just get my tracing wheel, which I did have out. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to trace this main line first. This outside edge of the pant. And then from here over, I can just ignore that pleat because it will be sewn down already. I don't need to go up and, okay, like that. And then also I'm going to trace out this line where the edge of our pocket is going to be. Okay. Now, look at this. We have the whole pattern piece here, and we can sort of true it up. I actually think I'm going to move this over a little bit and just have that opening be a teeny bit bigger, but starting at the same point. Okay. Now this will be obviously the pocket, and we're going to cut here for the lining. Okay, so now we should be able to just cut that out and we can use it. It'll be good to go. I have decided, I can cut this out in a minute. I have decided to go ahead and do the fly because I picked a different fabric, one that I have good lining for. So I'm actually going to tape this down here onto my pattern paper, and all I'm going to do is trace another fly, and you can use really any there you go, any fly you want. This one again is from my Merchant & Mills 101 trouser, which is handy. They're just, I mean, the sizes are the same, so it's easy to interchange them. Okay, so I'm just going to lay that down right like that, and I am going to trace around it. I think I'll trace it with this guy. Oh my god, I have all these Sharpies. use it with this one. And then we're also going to need a fly shield. So you're going to want to cut a piece of fabric that is roughly the same length as this from here to here, and the same width as this, and folded in two. So it'll actually be this length plus this width times 2. And you can draft a piece of a pattern for that if you want, or you could just cut it out as is. Okay, so this will be my fly, obviously. And then, what did we say? So this thing is 2.5 inches wide by 8.5 inches long. So I am just going to cut a piece right here. I don't have to waste any extra paper. I actually think, let's cut this a 1/2 inch longer so we have something to stitch down. So 9 inches long by 2.5 inches wide, and this will be our fly shield. And we're going to cut this on the fold. Okay. Now all we have to do is cut those pieces out. And then we can work on our hem. Okay, now for our hems. This is the eve pant with this is the cuff that they have on here, and it's an 1.5 inch cuff, which is what I want, so that's good. I can see that the hem for the 14 is right here. I've already altered these pants for fit, so I know this length is good. Then the cuff is an 1.5 inches, which puts it right here. Yeah, right about here. Right where that notch is, as a matter of fact. Like that. And then the rest of the hem is an 1.5 inches from that, which is right here, and that'll be the bottom of my pant. Here is where my hem is going to be. Okay, so this line right here will be the bottom of my pant. This line is nothing. This is part of the cuff, this is part of the cuff, this is the hem. I want to take these in about 1.5 inches from this side, and I want to do that at the hem line. So I'm going to mark 1.5 inches right here, and then I know I want to start tapering about 8 inches up the leg. I just guessed, and I tried it. Excuse me, I tried it in my muslin, and that looked good. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go right here, mark 8 inches right there, and then I'm just going to draw a line from that mark to that mark right there, and then I don't want that to be a sharp point there when I go to sew this, so I'm just going to take my French curve and line it up like that and sort of taper that off so it'll be a nice smooth curve. Okay, so now I know this is where this pant is going to end. Now I have to deal with all this cuff stuff. So I'm just going to fold this cuff. This is the hem. So I would fold that under right along that line. And then my cuff would be right here, so I would fold along that line. And I marked it with Sharpie, which is pretty wet, so it's gonna fold pretty easily. Looks good. There we go. Okay, and then I'm gonna fold it one more time. So that's my hem, fold it under, fold it up on the first cuff line. I'm gonna fold it back under on that last, at the hemline where we want our pant to end. So right there. Let's see if I do it like this. Now of course that's right on a seam line of my pattern, so it's making it hard to fold. But it's fine. Okay, so now we've got, that's what our pant, the bottom of our pant is going to look like at the end. You can see how this side, on the original pant pattern, it all lines up nicely. This side doesn't just because I didn't cut it off. So I'm going to cut right along my pant leg here and cut off all that extra from the bottom. Okay, and this part where we made our alteration, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to cut through all those pieces right along that line. Straight up. Okay, now when we unfold this, it'll look like a little bit like an accordion with this, so that when you fold this up at the end, when you make your pant, all of this stuff will fit in nicely and your cuff will fit into your pant. Now you have to do that exact same thing on the, this is the front piece, but you have to do the exact same thing on the back piece. And I think that's it for our alterations. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. So here are our pants, mostly assembled, and I just wanted to show you this because we're gonna wanna press these seams. I'm gonna press them to the back, and then I am gonna top stitch mine so that it looks like a felled seam. I didn't wanna do a felled seam with all this cuff business because it would just be too bulky, I think. So, but in any case, we're gonna wanna cut these into these notches to get these seams to lay flat. And you can see right here, you're going to want to cut right up to your seam, and at the points that come out, you're going to want to make an actual notch so that it can lay down like that. So again, we'll put a little cut all the way in there. Now this is on the out seam. On the inseam, the jagged edge is not as obvious. I think just snipping it in a couple of places will be fine. Then I'm just going to press this to the back and do some top stitching on those. All right, so 24 hours later, and I have just finished my pants. All in all, I'm really happy with them. I'll show you a couple of details here in a minute, and then when I'm done, I'll go outside and take a couple of pictures full length so you can actually see what they look like. And then I will put up our inspiration picture again and see, you know, how you feel about how close I came. I think the pants in our inspiration picture they look to be like a smooth, crisp sort of cotton. I used heavier weight linen, so they are going to look a little bit different because of that. But in any case, I'm pretty happy with them. I did want to say, so this was the Merchant and Mills Eve pattern. I actually had no issues or problems with this pattern at all. They went together beautifully. I didn't really do anything other than my usual size adjustments either. I mean, even, let me think about this. Yeah, a lot of times I have to put a little bit more room in the back crotch. I did not have to do that on this pattern. I did have to lower the waist in both the front and the back, and I have to do that on all pants. In fact, I have to do that on everything. But I think that was, aside from style choices, that was really the only alteration that I did. Now, in terms of putting the fly front in, you guys saw what I did there. I just sort of made up my own fly. If you need help, or if you need help installing flies, I will say that in the Merchant and Mills book called All Season Wardrobe, and again, this is several years old, so you could probably get this on Amazon secondhand or something. I think I bought it brand new, and I think I paid $45 for it when it very first came out. But they do have a pair of pants in here, a pair of trousers, a traditional pair of trousers, with a good description on how to put in a fly zipper. If you don't want to go that route, which is totally fine also, obviously, I will say any of the Mimi G patterns that have a fly front, I really like the directions in these patterns for installing a fly zip. And then also, you know, I bought one of the jeans, the most recent pair of jeans from Itch to Stitch, and her directions for putting in a fly are also really, really good. So one of these three I would suggest. They're all good. I'll leave links to all of those below. I don't think I can leave a link to the Mimi G patterns because it's really just literally any one of her pants that has a zip fly, and that's Mimi G for simplicity. Although she does have her own patterns on her own website. I don't know if she has one with a fly, but check and see, because hers are probably my favorite directions for installing a fly. Aside from that, if you guys have any other issues fitting pants, which, like, I feel like that's why most people don't make pants, is because they have fitting issues. And to be fair, there are a lot of places things can go wrong. I tend to like my pants loose and baggy, so fitting is less of an issue for me. But that's not the case for everybody, and I totally get that. So I have two suggestions for you. If you have problems, or just want help, or want to look further into fitting your pants, two of my favorite other YouTube channels have recently run multi-day series on pant fitting specifically. One is Karina from Lifting Pins and Needles recently did a series on different pant fitting techniques. And she did a really great section on showing you where the fitting issues were on her particular pants. She actually made pants with specific fit issues so she could show us how to fix those. So that was really good. And then Kim from Dorothy's Daughter also recently did a very similar series. Now I feel like I got different information, not contradictory information. I just learned different things from both of those channels, so I suggest watching them both. Dorothy's Daughter, instead of using herself, she actually had viewers send pictures of themselves in, and she used those. So either way, I will leave links to both of those things below. And now let me show you a couple of quickly, I'll show you a couple of the details on these pants, and then I'll go outside and take some real pictures so you guys can see. So there's the top stitching on my front pleat. There's the side pocket, which I like. I did end up putting some elastic in the back, just between those two darts, just to hold that a little bit closer. Like I said, I like my pants to be pretty baggy, but I don't want them to fall off. And then you can also see how I did the top stitching on my seams, and I did that on both of the inseams and both of the out seams on these pants. And I think that's it, guys. I'll go outside, take some pictures, and put them up here for you to take a look. And that is it until Thursday. Bye.